It's time for another Dice Tower review with Z Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm going to be taking a look at a small expansion to Imperial Settlers. 3 is the magic number. Now this is the second expansion that came out in this sized box. The first one was called Why Can't We Be Friends? And that one introduced the concept of open production, places where you could, an enemy would have them and you could send your people there to gather resources as well. And so it introduced, much like this one does, a few cards per faction and then some common cards that you can just shuffle into the common deck. So, what is the innovation here? Let me give you a quick overview of how this works. I'm not going to be teaching you the game. I'm just going to be showing you some of the cards in here, and then I'll tell you what I think of it. Here we go. So here's everything that comes inside the package. You are going to get 13 new common cards. You are going to get 10 cards for each of the factions, and yes, that includes the Atlanteans. And then you get these 4 cards for solitaire play, as well as, of course, the little rule leaflet here. And that's pretty much it. So more for every deck pretty much in the game. Let me give you a close-up look at some of the cards in each of the factions here, as well as a couple in the common deck. Here's a pretty standard common card, but it gives you an idea of the sort of things to expect from this set, and it's going to give you production and a building bonus based on brown sets in your empire. Now, here's the main mechanism in the game. What is a set? A set is quite simply 3 cards of whatever color is specified on the card here. And so, for instance, let's say this card is my 3rd browned build. I am going to get 1 victory point production every time I produce. I, of course, would also get that building bonus. And so that's simply what a set is. Once I get to 6 brown cards, then I have 2 of these sets, and so on. I have here a card that's a little bit more high-end, a little more complicated. It's got a production of 1 person there, but then the main concept here is that you get to pick the color of this one. So it's a very flexible card. It's going to adjust to whatever strategy, color-wise, you are going for. And then we have here a couple that I want to show you because I'll be referencing them later in the my final thoughts. This is a card with a regular production there, but it's an open production, as you can see here. Something that was introduced in the Why Can't We Be Friends expansion for the game. And then here we have another one of these instant cards, which are really cool. I do enjoy these, but I still wish there were more of them. We now have 2. You know, with all the cards that have been made for the game, there are only 2. I know that this would throw the game for a loop if there were too many, but more than 2 would be nice. So here are some cards that have a similar concept for each of the different factions. And the idea is that each one really focuses on a specific color set. So, for example, Barbarians over here are focusing on the black sets, and so you definitely want to focus on the swords, cards that give you swords, everything that's black. The Egyptians, which are one of my favorite factions to play, are all about the golden cards, and so on. And each one is slightly different for each of these factions. Like the Atlanteans, for example, can upgrade the gears to the advanced ones there for every white set, for white sets. But everything's got a similar feel, at least these cards. Be aware these cards are all of the 3 of a kind. So you get 3 of each of these cards that I'm showing you here. But let me show you a couple of the more strange cards that come from the decks. This card, which is a feature, and by the way, there are quite a few features in this new set, says that you get 10 victory points, -1 for every color other than golden. This is one of the Egyptian cards, and I really like this one. I was actually able to pull off a game in which everything I had with the Egyptians was golden, so it can be very powerful, and it gives you a look at the kind of cards you can expect to see in this game. Here's one for the Barbarians, and in this one, also a feature, if you can get a set of black, black, and pink. So there you there it shows you that the sets are not always one color, but it can be any combination of 3 colors. Then you are going to get some stuff there for your troubles. Here we have another card for the barbarians, and this one lets you spend a specific combination to then draw a card of a specific color. And the way that works is you take the common deck and start flipping from the top until you get the color you asked for, and then you take that one. Everything else goes back into the deck. And so some of the cards allow you to target draw something specifically. Here we have the Interrogation Master. This one is going to allow you to draw a common card, and then if it's a specific color, you can put it into play, basically. Otherwise, you just put a foundation out. So, really cool, really powerful stuff. And now a couple that I think are really neat here. This one is for the Atlanteans, and it makes every foundation you have white. So every card counts as white, and that can be really huge, especially if you are able to pull off some of those big combos. And then this one, which is a little bit of the reverse of that first card I showed you, is gives you a victory point for every color you have. So you kind of want to diversify with that one. And so that gives you this range of cards, sort of gives you an idea of the different powers you can expect to find in the set. So right off the bat, I will say I enjoyed this expansion. I thought it was an interesting choice of cards in here. I like that it gives you the ability to do more deck construction. I like the main concept based around colors. I think that works well. It's a nice, clever addition. It gives your drafting a little bit of focus. It gives your deck construction some focus. And so this is a good product. I will say, however, that this is a good product for people that are already into Imperial Settlers, have played a lot of it. They probably got the first expansion already. They probably got the Atlanteans already. And this is for those people. And the reason I say that is because the cards in this are a little bit more complicated than what we've seen before, it would seem to me. And also the rule book is not as comprehensive in this. And I guess that's my one small negative here, is that the rule book in this one does not explain some of the things that are included in here that were explained in previous expansions rulebook, like open production. There is one in here, and it's not touched on. They don't mention it at all. And so the package, I guess, assumes you have expansion number 1, and I guess that's okay. But again, I'm saying that's a negative. I wish the rulebook was a little bit stronger in this one. But besides that, everything else I'm very happy with. Really cool combo heavy expansion, and I think if you are someone that likes to tinker with the construction of your faction deck, you're really going to dig this expansion. It's going to let you do some really cool stuff. Very neat combos. So check this one out, folks. 3 is the magic number for Imperial Settlers. Thumbs up from me.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.